Western Pennsylvania in the political spotlight once again tonight. Senator John McCain and running mate Alaska Governor Sarah Palin just wrapped up a rally in Washington County. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm David Highfield. Stephanie Watson has the night off. We have live team coverage of today's events. KDKA's Allison Morris was there as McCain and Palin visited a diner on the south side. But we're going to begin with KDKA political editor John Delano, who is live for us in Washington County. And how did things go there, John?
Well, David, it was really quite an incredible event. It wrapped up 25 minutes ago. And I'll tell you, I've covered a lot of these presidential rallies over the years. This was the shortest one I've ever been to. John McCain spoke for all of about 7 minutes, and his running mate, Governor Sarah Palin, she spoke, well, let's say maybe 13 minutes. So the grand total was 20 minutes. Folks, it took a long time to get in here. They heard it short and simple, and you're going to hear it right now.
I'm running for president to make government stand on your side, not in your way. I spent the last few months looking for a running mate who can help me shake up Washington and stop the corruption and clean it up.
It's always safer in politics to just avoid risk and to go along with the status quo. But I didn't get into government to do the safe and easy things.
Now, if anyone had any doubts at all, this team of McCain and Palin are not running on the Bush-Cheney record. They're running on a new record of reform and change, the same kind of change message that we're hearing from Barack Obama and his running mate, Joe Biden. So the big campaign issue in this election is going to be who can bring the kind of change that you want to the United States of America. This will be the first of many rallies I'm sure we're going to see by the Republicans. This is territory that's ripe for everyone's taking. Barack Obama, of course, was here in Beaver County last night. Today it was John McCain in Washington County. I'm sure we're going to see a whole lot more of them in the 9 weeks left in this presidential election. Live in Washington, I'm John Delano, KDKA TV News.
And John, you have covered politics for years. I'm wondering what you think of John McCain's choice as for a running mate.
Well, you know, it was gutsy. It was gutsy, and it really is an effort on the part of McCain to demonstrate that he is a maverick and that he is pushing a reform agenda. Whatever you say about Sarah Palin, and she's only been a governor for 18 months, clearly she doesn't have the experience of many others that he could have chosen, like Tom Ridge. But the fact is she's a reformer in Alaska, and I think to John McCain, sending a message of reform, trying to separate himself from George W. Bush and Dick Cheney, I think this is the way he chose to make it. A very gutsy move. Will it work? Well, the voters will decide that on November 4th.
And John, how important is the VP selection? I mean, some have said people really vote for the president and not the VP.
It's a great question. Yeah, it's a great question, David, because if you look at history, some of those candidates who were most maligned, I mean, look back, frankly, to Dan Quayle in 1988. Well, that didn't stop George Herbert Walker Bush from winning the presidency. So a lot of folks don't believe that the running mates make much of a difference. But I will tell you, just as Joe Biden has revved up Barack Obama's campaign, Sarah Palin seems to be revitalizing the conservative base of the Republican Party. I spoke to a lot of folks about that just minutes ago, and we're going to have much more about that end of the story coming up new at 11.